concerning the globalist WEF agenda. Ministers of Parliament grilled Dutch government on WEF's Great Reset agenda. How many farms will be forced to close? No farmers, no food, obviously. What does that mean for how people will live? Let's remember that Holland produces 40% of the food used by the European Union. Elected representatives having grilled the Dutch government over exactly how many farms will be forced to close in order to satisfy the European Union's Great Reset green agenda. The thing is that people have not voted for this. Farmers in the Netherlands are continuing their protests against the EU's Great Reset measures, which could see as much as 30% of livestock farms in the country forced to close. Ministers of Parliament who are stunned at the number of farms that are being forced to close under the nitrogen reduction measures are now demanding that the Dutch government reveals the exact numbers and nature of the planned closure. And let's remember that it's not Europe or the West that's the main polluter of the earth. It's China and India and Russia. Now, Breitbart reports described as being part and parcel of an unavoidable transition, quote unquote. The Dutch government has seemingly committed itself to killing off many farming businesses in its own country for the sake of appeasing green agenda nitrogen reduction targets set by bureaucrats in Brussels. However, while those in the government's cabinet seem steadfast in doing the work ordered by the European Union, other politicians, including some of those within the parties of the country's ruling coalition, have challenged the move. According to a report by farming magazine New Oogst, some MPs have expressed disbelief at the number of farms that will be forced to close under the nitrogen reduction measures, with the Christian Democratic Alliance CDA even saying that it believes the official numbers have been an error in communication with the government. A letter from the party asks, or is it indeed the case that 11,200 farmers will have to stop until the year 2030 just because of the nitrogen policy? And what are the consequences of this gigantic contraction on the amount of food produced in the Netherlands? The document sent to the minister reportedly reads. Meanwhile, the Reform Political Party, SGP, probed the government as to how planned farm closures are to occur, with official documents seemingly pointing to the mandatory buyouts being used by government to close business in the country by force to meet its Great Reset objectives, while New Oogst reports that the government has ostensibly been looking at ways of making sure that farm closures are as voluntary as possible. Well, obviously they're not voluntary. That's why all these farmers are protesting. The SGP claims that official documents earmarking funds for the projects appear to indicate that targets will be achieved mainly via forced purchases if the government indeed aims to hit its nitrogen reduction aims by 2030. The party has now asked the government to clarify how it aims to make sure that as many farm closures as possible are indeed voluntary. This is by Neam Harris on News Punch. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.